Your Excellencies, and to all authorities here present, the ones recognized and the ones that should be recognized as part of the decision-making process. My sincere gratitude for the invitation, and more importantly, I want to thank all who have gathered here to take action in these difficult times. My name is Paloma Costa, and I am from Brazil, from Latin America. Well, I am what is left from this place, what could not be killed, where the Amazon is threatened and where human rights seems to mean nothing, where we have to be the outcome of this dominant paradigm of development, an economic model that we insist that sustain our nations, but it's not sustainable at all, where the mining and large enterprises are destroying our land and our people. Here, we are bargained as cattle, with our lives on sale, serving as a workforce for woods consumption, and providing commodities and foods with the costs of our life. We are a health experiment, as access to health here is precarious and pesticides are deep common in our food and plantations. Not even the mercury used in mining is here recognized as a potential cause for disease. We are what is left from this empty political speech that ingrains our lives since colonization and that now shows its most horrible face, not guaranteeing our democracies, our freedom of expression, and not open for a dialogue with the emerging population movement for freedom, for life. As we come from the global south, I cannot help mentioning that we will always be the photograph of a missing person who is daily threatened by climate, violence, prejudice, and lack of responsibility. 500 years later, the colonization way of thinking, a monoculture of our minds, still carries on genocide, ecocide, and ethnocide. But now, they come disguised as economic growth, development, and good moral. Right now, there are still people being arrested, killed, and oppressed just for being social environmentalists, forest protectors, brigadistas, and activists. And I am tired of being called cancer terrorist. In this scenario, people still ask me if I'm afraid to defend our environment, since Latin America unfortunately is the champion when it comes to the killing of environmental and land defenders. Well, as I already said, what scares me the most is this massive killing unpunished and widely known. What really scares me is the current stagnation of the decision makers in order to make deep structural changes in our society. Our house is on fire, literally. So what else can we do as youth than stay asking, screaming, and chanting for action? The men in charge keep centering their decisions in the capital, throwing their hate upon us, upon our environment, upon our agreements and institutions, while destroying what is ours by right. And the problem? The problem is the silence, where everyone can see the Amazon burning, reaching in 2020 its tipping point, with 20% of forest loss threatened to become a savanna, with 26% of the Pantanal biome left in ashes, just with this year's fire. The silence in facing the climate emergency, public denying science, public denying the reality, spreading fake news to manipulate our minds. While the situation is a world collapsing, with a triple emergency on climate, massive biodiversity loss, and the vulnerability to new diseases, impulsionated for a deep and more problematic crisis, which is the systemic crisis that questions our own humanity, our structures, and our own capacity of still being alive as a society on this earth. The climate emergency is a clear threat to human rights and human life. And all of this denial is a political project of death. And as David Attenborough said, it's not about saving our planet. It's about saving our lives. So I ask, do we want our own extinction? In face of this existential threat, my voice and other million more cannot pass unheard anymore. We screamed in the streets last year. We are demarcating the screens this year. And we will keep screaming so loud, that I can only hope that we hear ourselves. Because in the end, we are the ones we've been waiting to save ourselves. So that's why right now it is necessary that everyone rethinks and re-earth the way we are relating with our entire world, our society, our communities, taking responsibility for our acts. Because every act we do is interconnected with each other acts. Who we vote, what we choose to consume, both products or informations. Everything has an impact in this globalization society. And in the end, we are all part of this integrated social ecological system. Our Pachamama depends on us as much as we depend on her to still be alive. That's why me, who last year was misinterpreted when I said that we don't need praying, but acting for the Amazon. Now I say that right now, we need all. Really, we need a complex and complete conjuncture of really united nations into a global community where we tackle socio-environmental crises without frontiers. Because if we want to win this fight as humanity and change the paths of our own history, we can only do it together in a big coalition for life. And we are a piece of land that is worth. We are thousands and thousands of histories that are worth hearing. Our people still grow while growing food on this earth. We resist by collecting and planting seeds everywhere. And the fight for our freedom is blossoming. As much as you don't see the big media noticing it, we do. We do notice each and every single change in this world. And we will remember everything. We will keep rising as the Samauma with big roots. And this is the traditional knowledge of our land and ancestors that we as Latin Americans have to take to the table. A knowledge that was passed to me through Davi Yanomami, a shaman from Brazil. He said to me, if we stop laughing, dancing and painting our bodies, This means that the mercantile people won. If they win, we all lose. So as our Pachamama has been resistant, united we will resist. Because through the power of memory, the land lives on, and we resist with the original people of these lands. So I want to state something once again today. Our lives are not for sale. Our land are not for sale. We cannot come with market solutions to human problems. We cannot play or bargain with our future. So I stand with my people in Latin America, insurrecting for democracy, and I invite all youths across the world to stand up too against fascism, destruction, and the lack of respect for our life. As I once heard, agreements are not made between politics, but between nations. So I want to see all nations declaring a climate emergency, because we have all the solutions to start freeing our future. We can defeat local struggles if this becomes a global fight. So what more do we need to see to start turning all the solutions available into real commitments and policies? To adopt mechanisms where people have responsibility for their actions and recommendations given really guide the parties in an inclusive, deliberative, and binding way. Youth are one of the only groups taking this responsibility seriously. So why don't we just guarantee the participation of all sectors and actors when it comes to making a decision? We are drowning in our lack of action, and this is affecting the youth in different levels. We are facing anxiety and other health issues, losing schools, just because we don't see the world advancing. What will be left of us? What will be left for us? Participation is key when it comes on thinking for transitions. And to effectively participate, there are some things that need to be taken care of, such as access to information, which means accountability and transparency. The information about policies, implementations, fundings, and etc. need to be public. On the other hand, we need to guarantee education, so the information available can be understood, because transparency and accountability are not only about putting some technical information online, but that those informations are understandable in a way we all really get what they mean and what are their implications. And for least, we need inclusion. It's even a matter of judicial security. When we guarantee free, previous, and well-informed consultations with effective participation from the different impacted actors, this prevents from further litigation processes. I mean, when you don't include someone in the discussions, when you cut someone out of the photo, you are not only erasing a person, you are erasing a fight, an entire history, a knowledge, a continent. That's why most decisions made in global spaces, that mostly happen in the north area of the globe, are dissonant with what is needed in the front lines. Because we still have to fight for our space to speak, to participate. But you know, I still have hope. Really, I do. I am seeing the Forest People Alliance back again. I'm seeing youth uniting all around the world. And as Célia Chacriabá, a young indigenous woman from Brazil, said, the world is full of information, but with lack of conscience. So if this is really the COP we have this year, I will just ask, are we conscious enough to finally take action and protect our home? Reforestating our minds and imaginaries? Or we will just keep talking and conversating each and every year? We need to unite. So let's do it for ourselves. Thank you.